And I'm just going to relax and breathe, putting very light pressure on the spine. I'm just touching enough so that I can feel what's underneath the epidermis of the skin. That's all I'm doing. And you notice that I kind of shift just a little bit. I'm not massaging him. Okay, I'm just trying to feel what's underneath the epidermis. Have things moved, basically. And so shifting around just a little bit shows me that yes, things have moved, and now I'll move to the opposite side of the spine. So this also saves me from having to move around the table. And all I'm doing is I'm just placing my fingers on your spinal erectors, relaxing, grounding myself, and I'm emitting chi into the spinal erectors, and I'll simply just go on the other side just like this. Nothing to it. Give it a little roll, a little shake, make sure I'm feeling decompression in the tissue. Make sure I'm breathing properly in and out through the nose. And I'll just continue to move up one hand at a time. Notice I didn't move up two hands like so. You can, but if you have a heavily contaminated spine, which is not the case here, but if you have a spine with lots of problems, move up one hand at a time. If you're just doing a cleanup, which we'll go over cleanups, you can use two hands at a time. So if I'm doing an intense therapy like scoliosis, I'm trying to help alleviate some curvatures in scoliosis, I'm going to move up one hand at a time. And I'm going to continue with this pattern until I get all the way to the top. And then when I get to the top, I'll do one on the bottom. So that way every portion of the spine has had two hands on it at one point in time. So then I'll repeat the process here on the other side. Now there's no sense in going over all that twice. So that's because that's pretty simple, and that's the whole gist of Shun Tao, is that it's really, really simple and that anybody can do it. I want to talk now about the builds. The builds we will use for secret sword and for banding fingers. We can use the regular fireball, okay? Regular fireball, we can use the super fireball, okay? We can use the pyramid build. These are the most recommended builds for this particular, or these particular techniques. In doing so, they should help guarantee that you have very good technique and just the right amount of chi, or perhaps the right biofrequency, whatever you want to call it. Sweeping and clearing are two ways of cleansing the body so that we don't draw any contamination from the person we're working on to ourselves. And so if I have the body here on the table and I'm bringing my hand across it to sweep and clear it, okay, I shake off every time I make a pass. Earlier we went over, showed a little bit of sweeping, and so as we sweep, I just want to go back and say, make sure that you shake off really well as you're coming across, and as soon as you get to the end, shake off. And I'll show you an exercise that will help cleanse your body. Do it 3 to 5 times to make sure that you cleanse the body after every session that you do, because we don't want to contract any phantom pains or anything from anybody that we're working with. So just relax and stand grounded and breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth, okay, for detoxification. And shake. And that's all there is to it. I'd like to talk about the procedure now. The procedure generally takes 15 minutes to 60 minutes. And you really don't want to go over 60 minutes. You'll start to really deplete your energy. And make sure you stay very hydrated. Drink lots of water before and after the therapies. Also instruct your client to do the same. Drink lots of water before and after the therapies to help flush out the toxins. Which brings up another interesting point, and that is how your client's going to feel after this therapy is done. Okay, you're going to get great results from this technique. Okay, but some clients may have tremendous spinal damage, and if they do, then they may experience nausea, vomiting, even diarrhea anywhere from 10 minutes after the procedure is done to 3 hours later. Usually if they make it past the first hour, they're not going to have any kind of diarrhea or vomiting. But it is very possible to have diarrhea and vomiting when you're dealing with severe spinal damage or severe spinal injury. So the best thing to do is to talk to your client and let them know this ahead of time. Let them know to expect these things, and that as soon as these things pass, they'll be feeling much, much better. What happens is when we remove these energy patterns, it pushes all these toxins into the system, similar to massage therapy. And some massage therapists may have also noticed their clients becoming sick after certain massage therapy techniques have been done. It's just simply because it releases a lot of toxins, and sometimes it's too much for the body to handle. So drinking lots of water does help tremendously in alleviating this problem. If these techniques are done properly, you should notice that spinal alignments hold much easier. In fact, you should find that the spine itself is just restored to as good a health as it could possibly be restored to, and sometimes even better than that. The results are very good, is what I'm trying to say. These techniques are very simple, but they're very powerful. They don't take long to learn. I've spent a great deal of time trying to condense these techniques and just make them as simple as possible so anybody can pick it up and learn it fast. I'd like to just go back and say that these are energy therapies. Okay, these are not medical procedures. This is energy work. And it's like a good friend of mine, Devin Myers, told me when somebody asked him what we do, what is it that we do? And he says, brother, all we do is return the body to manufacturer's specifications. And you know what? There's just not a better explanation than that. So energy therapy, not a medical procedure, and all we're doing is trying to restore health in the body and wholeness in the body by cleaning the body's energies out, and in doing so, the body will naturally heal itself.